What's up, adventurers? My name is Platinum Phoenix, and this is part 26 of our Fossil Fighter playthrough. Last time, we found all the Sub-Idolcomp fragments on Vivasor Island, and this time, we're leaving Vivasor Island to go to the secret island to see if we can find the final piece of the Sub-Idolcomp. With that being said, let's get going. Alright, now that we are on the secret island, we're gonna do something a little bit different. There are several Vivasors that can be found here, and since this is a story location, there's also a lot of dialogue here. So we're kind of going to popcorn them and do a couple of bios, then story, then bios, and story, and go until we are done. So with that being said, we are going to start with the story with Duna. Yes, as I thought, it is a Dinorian spaceship. This is the scout ship that went down during our first expedition to the planet. It's sort of funny to think that your fossil revivals technology scavenged from my people. We entered Stone Sleep to shape your whole world, and you used it to recreate how to use it. I guess that's the difference between our peoples, Phoenix. Regardless, we need to find the last fragment. Let's go. Alright, and now we are going to start with the bios. The first Vivasor found on the secret island is Proto, and it is almost completely useless. The whole thing that it can do is transform into Tricera. The only thing is, we've had access to get a normal Tricera for 2 full chapters now, so having a weaker Vivasor that can transform into it is simply worse in almost every single way. Talking about Proto by itself, it has some of the worst stats of any Vivasor in the entire game. The only redeeming thing that Proto has about it is that it has really nice support effects, and it has the ability to inflict Super Harden. Which sounds a lot worse when I say it out loud. But regardless, my recommendation is to get Proto for the completion and throw it into VMM machine, never to be seen again. Actually, Phoenix, would you wait while I check something? I want to know why the spaceship crashed. The crew members that escaped to our ship before the crash had no idea what happened. See, at least she looks like she's actually using a computer. Unlike Dr. Diggins, who's just over there smashing the keyboard. Okay, I found the computer's log of what happened when the ship went out of control. I see now. Oh, sorry, Phoenix. Let me configure this to your language so you can read it too. Abnormal energy readings detected from sample holding chamber 3A, Gugnash tissue sample. Energy spikes have damaged flight systems beyond repair. Per standard emergency protocol, the crew will abandon ship and be teleported to safety. Gugnash, the intergalactic scourge that consumed our entire world. He roams the universe looking for planets with life on them, then he eats them whole. This ship has a small sample of Gugnash tissue in it in a holding chamber for research purposes. We hope that we might learn enough from it to find a way to kill Gugnash. We eventually gave up on that hope. Nothing can kill Gugnash. It's simply impossible. I'm sorry, Phoenix. I should not delay our progress any farther. Let's get moving again. We have to find the last fragment before the Dinorians discover this place. Alright, and now back to the bios. Next up is Chirrus. Chirrus does one thing and one thing only. It has a support effect that decreases your opponent's Venusaur's evasion by 99%. That basically means every Venusaur in your opponent's attack zone has 1 evasion, which means all of your attacks are virtually guaranteed to hit. So a really good strategy that you could do with Chirrus is by pairing it with a Venusaur that has a 100% chance to critical hit, since the nerf to your opponent's evasion counteracts the low accuracy that those Venusaurs have. Meaning that you could theoretically get massively damaging critical hits every single turn. And with legendary Venusaurs not being weak to any type and Dino-Matins running around, being able to crit every single turn is a massive upside. An active Chirrus is Sopteryx. Sopteryx is basically the opposite of Chirrus by increasing the evasion of your Venusaurs by a very large amount, which makes them virtually untouchable. On top of that, Sopteryx also has the FP Plus passive ability to help you gain more FP each turn, and a skill to heal your other Venusaurs. All of this makes Sopteryx a really good support class Venusaur. Just make sure to watch out for your opponent switching your positions, since this thing cannot take hits. Maya is a support class Venusaur that takes the title to the extreme. It has only a single damage dealing skill, that being its very first one, and all of Maya's other skills are entirely focused on supporting its allies. Its second skill allows it to remove all status effects, while its third and fourth skill allow it to heal either a targeted Venusaur or all of your other Venusaurs by 80 life points. Even Maya's team skill is focused on support, healing all of your allies by 60 life points. Basically, Maya is for the players that choose to play healers in every other game, because you may not be doing a lot of damage, but by God, your tank and DPS will live forever. Next up is Bream. Say hello to the best conman after Metal Dealer Joe. Bream specializes in taking everything you've ever loved. And by that I mean life points and FP. The trade-off for the ability to take from your opponent is that Bream is pretty lacking in the stats department, having both pretty low life points and weak attack. And when damage dealt is how the game determines how many life points you steal, you could probably see how that could be a problem. Bream is a really interesting idea and has really cool mechanics, but it just becomes available too late in the game to make the best use out of those things. What is this slate? This shouldn't be here. How strange. It looks like there's some writing. It is in your language. Where did this come from? It's been 6 months since I found myself in this dangerous world. It took all the time to research this site. It was a long, perilous road, so perilous in fact that I lost my sandals along the way. I don't understand. Do you know what this is, Phoenix? I guess it doesn't matter right now. Let's get back to saving your people from mine. After Bream is Hoplo. Hoplo is a cute little kitty cat support class that has almost no ways of actually supporting your other Venusaurs. Hoplo has exactly 3 ways to supply support. It can inflict Quicken on your Venusaurs. It has both positive and negative support effects for your Venusaurs, so I'm not even sure that one counts. And it has the FP Plus passive abilities. Out of all 3 of these things, the FP Plus ability is by far the best since it just allows you to do more on your turns. Other than that, Hoplo has 3 strictly damage-dealing skills, and with its 59 attack, it's not going to be doing any real damage with them. You're better off just getting it for completion and skip trying to make it work, but it does have a really awesome design. Next up is the final raptor found in the game, the O-Raptor. The O-Raptor focuses on having dirt cheap skills that steal your opponent's FP in order to charge your other Venusaurs. The main downside to the O-Raptor is that it only has 47 attack, meaning that it will not be outputting almost any damage, especially if it's in the support zone. The O-Raptor is best used with an attack class Venusaur with high cost skills, since it has the ability to slow down your opponent and make your Venusaur more able to actually get the FP that is required to use their high costed skills. And the final Venusaur found on the secret island is Psyduck! Wait a second. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong notes. Let's see here. Oh, here it is. Anato is a support class Venusaur that can inflict confuse on the opponent. Anato also has the ability to sacrifice its own life points to heal its allies. Other than that, Anato really has nothing else going for it. Man, I wish I was actually talking about Psyduck. Maybe someday. Just past this door is the spaceship's main control room. I don't know what we'll find in there. If you don't feel ready, you might want to prepare. Or would you like to go into the control room now? Alright, I think we're ready. Bios are done and everything, so let's get to it, Duna. Alright, I'm glad to have you with me, Phoenix. Let's go. That's a stone sleep device. Why would it be pulled out here like this? Wait, this isn't a Dinorian. It's a human. How did a human come to be in stone sleep? Hold on. Phoenix, may I borrow your Stonar system? I can't imagine how, but it looks like this human is carrying the last idol fragment. We should bring this stone human back to the fossil center for analysis. Not so fast. Raptin. So it's true, Duna. You've betrayed the Dinorians, your own people. Now back away. Once I get that core component, we'll be able to reassemble the Sub-Idolcomp. I won't allow you to take the core component, and I won't allow you to hurt the humans, to hurt Phoenix. You've let yourself be tainted by human weakness. You used to be better than they are. Duna. Pathetic. If you won't see reason, I'll just have to annihilate both of you. Combat holography systems on. Battle mode engage! Raptin is a level 8 attack class Venusaur. He has some awful support effects that negatively affect your side by a massive amount. But similarly to Duna, he starts in the attack zone in this fight, so it's not the biggest issue. The other thing about Raptin to keep in mind is that he has several poison effect skills. So basically he has skills that can poison you, including one that has a 100% success rate, which can be a real problem if you just allow him to keep firing that off. He also has the ability to greatly increase any of the Venusaurs on his side's evasion, which is incredibly scary when his support skills also lower your accuracy. So the way to defeat him is basically exactly the same as Duna. Hit him very hard. Don't allow him to really escape, and if he does, take out the Dino Matins before he's able to really recover at all. As you can see in my battle, he basically went back as soon as he felt threatened because of my Patchy. But other than his skills and his support effects, he also is able to... He also has a team attack that he can use with the Dino Matins, or basically any Dinorian-based Vivasaur, that allows him to do massive damage to your entire team, but it also doesn't inflict the statuses that he wants. Basically, the main thing you want to keep an eye out for in this battle is his support effects and him using his, what am I trying to say? And him using his poison skills to deal massive damage to your Vivasaurs. But we seem to be doing pretty good. I think Spinax is gonna go down, which is unfortunate. But we are doing decent damage. Another thing to keep in mind during this battle is that the Dino Matins still cannot be statused. They are still robots that will hurt you. So, just don't try to status them and focus on more damage dealing skills. Raptin, on the other hand, is not a robot, so he can be statused, and is actually a really good strategy once you take down the Dino Matins and he's not able to switch out, is just to status him and stop him from basically doing anything. But I am hoping that we can take out this Dino Matin here. This is gonna be close. Actually, I'm gonna try to push him into the back row so we can deal with Raptin. Does this work? I don't think it did. Nope, he wasn't pushed back. That's unfortunate. But we should be able to take him out next turn if Terra doesn't just straight up die. Come on, Terra. Oh, this is gonna hurt. Luckily, when a Vivasaur is taken out and another Vivasaur is forced into the front, the support effects don't take effect until the next turn. So it's basically going to be a fight between my basically fully health Patchy versus his half health. That's a strange choice. I was not expecting him to switch into the back row. I was going to say it was going to be a fight between my fully healthy Patchy versus his half healthy Raptin, but then he just died. He's like, don't worry, Dino Matin, I'll protect you. I'm hoping this does not take me out. Please live this, Patchy. Oh, that's a lot of damage. Okay, I think we've won. I was really worried for a second. But this should be plenty of damage to take out the Dino Matin. Alright. Perfect. Good job, Patchy. I was scared for a second there. There must be some kind of mistake. I was in battle mode. You human. How could I lose to such a flawed organism? Raptin, listen. Humans are different, but not any more flawed than Dinorians. They are born on this planet, and they've evolved into real intelligent life. The idea that Dinorians are the only worthwhile beings in the planet is narrow-minded, dangerous thinking. No, humans were an accident, a side effect of our evolutionary experiments gone wrong. You don't befriend your mistakes, you learn how not to make them again and start from scratch. No matter how you fight against it, no, you can't stop the inevitable doom of humankind. No creature as flawed as that can survive for long. One day, Raptin, I hope both you and King Dino will be able to see past your own DNA. There are probably other Dinorians on the way. Let's get back to the fossil center with this stone human. To revive the last fragment, we'll need to revive this. Since this equipment is based on Dinorian technology, I'm confident that I can operate. Unfortunately, the stone sleep device wasn't calibrated for human use, so this specimen is unusual. It looks like there's an extra coating of stone that we'll need to remove. Phoenix, you're the most skilled fossil cleaner here. Would you clean this stone human? So while we are cleaning Dr. Diggins out of this stone, I want to talk about the story that we have been seeing so far. I really enjoy how they took the idea of a funny little dinosaur collection and battling game and turned it into a commentary on why judging others based on how they appear or how they on how you perceive them is a flawed perception. It's a really neat way of going about the story and not making it too serious in how it's going about it. It basically what I'm trying to say is I like the execution of how they did this story. But anyway, Dr. Diggins, of course, he was sent back in time to the Jurassic period. Phoenix? And Duna? And this is Fossil Center. I'm back to my proper time period. This is like waking up from a nightmare. I went from the spaceship to the Jurassic period in an instant. I was sure I would die there, long before I'd even been born, but then I remembered the crashed spaceship and only Mr. Richmond and I knew about. I hoped desperately that I might find stone sleep technology inside the ship. So I set out to find the ship. It was a long and extremely difficult journey. Yes, we can tell by looking at you. First, I ran into a hungry triceratops that scooped me up in his mouth and... I would love to hear the story of your adventures some other time. For now, let's concentrate on the idol fragment. Oh, right! I got it! I held on to it tightly the whole time. Phoenix, would you take that over to Mr. Richmond? I'll be right over after I explain everything to Dr. Diggins. Alright, well, we have successfully gotten the last idol fragment and revived Dr. Diggins. So I think we are going to call this episode here. So I hope that everyone enjoyed watching. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And next time, we'll be taking all of these fragments over to Mr. Richmond to see if we can recreate the Sub-Idolcomp to hide it away. But until then, happy adventuring!